The first one comes from Ben Filippi, who gave the mailbag question.
Ben Day.
He sent this 8 days ago, right after the snowstorm, so it was more pertinent when he asked. But once you finish the inevitable chore of shoveling, how would you rank the following snow day activities? And I will paste these in the doc.
Huge.
Snowball fights, sledding, skiing / snowboarding, snow angels, snowman making.
Skiing, snowboarding seems like a huge outlier from the onset.
The numbers next to there are his rankings.
Are we
Skiing, snowboarding, I don't think belongs on that list because after shoveling,
that's a whole different activity.
That's not like a snow day.
Yeah, let's take that one off the list,
Ben.
and then there's 4 here.
We play by our own rules.
And I like these 4.
Are we doing this like right now live, or are we doing this as youths?
My order doesn't change, so I don't care.
Interested. Well, let's hear it.
Sledding is a clear-cut number 1. You're catching that wind in your face, picking up speed. It's such a cool feeling. And then maybe you get a little like ramp made, get some air. I've been asking Courtney to bring my nephews up so we can go sledding with them when it snows. Sledding is clear, far and away number 1. Number 2, snowman making.
Really?
Yes. Katie and I tried to make one the other day. It's time consuming when you start with a little ball of snow and you roll it and
Right.
now it's huge. There's like a tangible reward to that. Like, holy fuck, I just made this huge ball. Then at the end, you get something pretty that you can look at. And if it's in window shot, you can look at it for like a week. And it's a reminder like, oh yeah, look at that. We made that. And I think that's a great feeling. And then I have snowball fights, 3. Not huge in snowball fights. I think it's kind of boring and a lot of work, and like everyone just kind of half-ass it for 5 seconds. They're kind of like that scene in a movie when everyone's painting the walls and then they have like a paint fight for 2 seconds. Then you're like, all right, stop.
So that's...
And then Snow Angels 4.
I think that's the only part where you're getting misled here, because I'm going to do a little how good is your good. And I mean, if you got a group of people together and do a legit snowball fight, you got bases, you've got stations.
I've never partook in something like that. Bases and stations for what are you talking about?
I mean, you could be doing snowball fights with like a capture the flag game going on, and if you get hit on the way through, like you can set up a whole battlefield.
Safety.
I've never done that.
Zone.
I've never partook.
But I think that's the problem, and I think that's where sledding does run away, is that that's a whole production, and you're going to get that twice a lifetime.
Sledding, you just grab a thing, go to the hill.
Sledding, you go. I mean, we had a great sledding hill in our town. A lot of good memories there. It's sledding. Snow Angels is last. I think I'm putting Snowball Fight above Snowman Making for the high-end experience.
Snowball Fight, for me, I've only ever done like unorganized. The most organized I think I could ever remember is after hockey practice, and it would be like summer, and we'd take the snow from the Zamboni, where he dumped it out on the street, and make them and like do like an organized teams. Like dodgeball almost.
Yeah.
But still, after like 2 seconds, you're like, hey, this sucks.
Yeah, I think the sledding hill in our town, I think we would set up, like when we were tired, at the bottom, because there's so much snow. I mean, you would set up like a base camp. And
in Illinois, they have man-made sledding hills in towns because it's too flat.
Right.
And those hills are actually badass sometimes. The one in Lake Zurich, Lake Zurich was all right, but the town over from Lake Zurich, and they had hay bales that they would throw out there so you could make ramps. So, like, there was legit.
Which is nuts, by the way. I don't know if towns do that anymore.
I mean, we pushed Ritzy down because she was so scared. My dad and I said, tie your shoe, Ritz.
Ritzy had a bad time.
She tied her shoe. We pushed her, and then me and my dad both looked, and she was going straight for a ramp. And we're like, oh, shit. We started running downhill, like chasing a bobsled, and then we didn't get to her in time. No. But she flipped over, landed on her face, and me and my dad came sliding in, to, like, get to her. And, like, sorry. She's so mad.
Yeah.
I told you I was too scared.
Team Ritzy.
Oh, for sure. There's a
Ritzy.
picture of it. She's crying her eyes out. Let's see if I can find it. It's fucking hilarious. Whenever Ritzy cried, we kind of just took a picture.
It's called being a big brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't take the picture. I was too long. Like, grandma, mom, come take a picture of Ritzy. She's crying. Then they'd come take one.
Fed the beast there.
Yeah, but
I realize that's still.
I didn't know how to use I didn't know how to use a film camera. Like, the adults could have been easily like, I'm letting you know that the adults could have said no,
Right.
but there was the culture was, let's take a picture. She's crying.
Well, I think you created the culture.
I was 7 years old.
I know. You're creating a new culture for your family.
If you let a 7-year-old create the culture and you're the adult, you're allowing that culture to be created.
Yes.
So I mean,
I agree.
I'm not to blame here, is what I'm saying.
I mean,
All right.
so if I ask Ritzy who's to blame, if I said blame 2 people about the sledding incident of 1994, 96.
Yeah, you know, like
97.
who's worse? The guy that
Go on.
kills someone,
I thought you'd go there, which I was excited for.
or the guy who films the murder taking place and doesn't say anything about it?
It's still like slightly the murderer.
Yeah, I think so too. Because at the end of the day, the other person can be like, "I didn't kill anyone."
Yeah.
And the other guy can't say that.
Like I kind of didn't know. Yeah, you killed someone.
Yeah.
Dead.
Who is Ritzy? Is that what you're laughing at?
Yeah.
My sister. Her
It's
name's
a really good question.
Elizabeth.
It's a really good question.
That was my favorite ranking in a long time. Just to let everyone know, I had a lot of fun thinking out
Yeah.
my process there. I think I won you out on Snowman a little bit. Have you ever made one?
I've never.
I
done
think
the full
later in
thing.
life, I see what you're saying about the snowman. It's more symbolic. I
When
mean,
we lived in Illinois and I was in middle school, we'd make these big ass snowmen, and
you got a lot of hands in your family, bro. If I'm going for a solo snowman, like I'm risking death out there.
solo snowman's like solo snowball fight. Like any of these activities you do alone isn't.
You could have fun sledding.
Sledding alone.
That's the
and
only one.
what
That's
makes
why
it
it's a
number
clear
one.
cut. Yeah, but no, I mean. We used to make these big snowmen, and then you could see it out the window. And like when the snow melts and it's all
Right, you see it
grass and it's
deteriorate,
still the
yeah.
snowman, you just get to watch it melt. It's really that's the coolest part.
My next door
That's
neighbor
odd.
used to do big time like snow sculptures, which isn't the same as a snowman, but
Yeah,
What do you mean by that?
like he made like a big Homer Simpson head one year. It was like pretty detailed. It's like
It's not snow, not ice.
out of snow. I mean, I assume there was ice in the.
There
mix,
is
but
ice involved.
I mean, it had to be cold enough to icify a little bit.
when you do those, you bring like water out with you,
Right.
And you water it.
That's
and
what
you
I wanted to make sure of.
I'm sure he
But
did.
I'm sure he has tools too. It's like when you walk down at the beach. If you walk down at the end of the day, if you walk like in Lavalette, walk like 10 blocks, you'll see a ton of different things that people made. Like they'll just shape the sand into turtles, or they'll make a big throne. That was always cool. Ice, like snow sculptures, sand sculptures.
Without a base layer. Like
Just with sand instead of snow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'd certainly.
Ice and snow are different.
I would today rather go for a snowman than engage in a snowball fight.
Katie and I did a
But
snowball
but,
fight.
but I like the how good is your good angle.
I've never had what Jake was describing.
Five
we
ever
set up
good.
a Jomboy Media snowball fight in the alley. I think we have a bang up.
I just realized something. If that list didn't say snowball fight and just said snowballs, probably would have jumped to 2.
Interesting.
Remember when we were just seeing how high we could throw a snowball on college campus? We weren't fighting. There was no running. There was no dodging. It was just
target practice.
Just like target practice.
Stop
We-
sign.
Playing like horse with a snowball. Like I bet I could hit that sign. That would have jumped to number 2 in a landslide. But snowball fight, that's not fun.
Yeah, like Jake said, you get like maybe 5 of those if you're lucky.
Yeah.
In your
Yeah.
life, you get like the memorable.
Yeah.
And
Here it is. Here it is.
The picture of Ritzy after getting thrown down the hill is now on our screen.
Can I?
It's I mean it's as sad as a little girl can be
Yeah, like in
in a
retrospect.
tasteful way.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that tasteful, but
Yeah.
it's messed up. Let me see. I'll try and send it to BBD and we can put it up there.
Bring the people
make it
out
clear
with
you're
that.
telling me to put it up.
I mean, I posted it on Instagram, so Richie's heard the story a bunch. She lived it.
Yeah, she knows it happened.
I'm gonna send it in the Slack with Kyle, and he's not gonna know what the hell we're doing.
Oh,
He's
no.
gonna be like, "What do you want me to do with that?" yeah.
This
So
has some possibilities.
He's
Yeah.
probably gonna think that's you.
my dad.
No. I mean that just looks like a little kid crying. You can't really see the
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah. What's the second rankings we at?
Well, yeah, it's on the screen.